All right, and they showed more iconic moments from TNA, and as David alluded to earlier, yeah, they did kind of have, for lack of a better phrase, a Ersatz Royal Rumble at one point. And Jeff Jarrett was a heel and stormed by in his entrance and pushed by Toby Keith. Well, then in that actually is called a gauntlet match in TNA, where the final two actually square off in a proper match, uh, as opposed to over the top rope for the final two. Toby Keith actually eliminated Jeff Jarrett after giving him a massive suplex, and that was a pretty darn awesome suplex.
Yeah.
Good job from my fellow Okie there.
Yeah, Toby Keith definitely, honestly, he would make a great TNA wrestler. But that's not really saying much, but he would have made a great TNA wrestler.
Yeah. Probably not the highlight of his career, but certainly one of the highlights of TNA.
Which is really sad if you think about it.
Yeah. Speaking of the highlights of TNA, for the longest time they actually had a really, really great tag team division. And in fact, in the early days, there were a couple of tag teams. One of which was affiliated with Sports Entertainment Extreme because, of course, Sports Entertainment Extreme was basically their NWO at the time. But there were two guys, Cowboy Chris Harris and James Storm, who had a tag team called America's Most Wanted. By the way, Cowboy Chris Harris later went on to be Braden Walker for his tenure in WWE, which lasted just about long enough for him to get a donut and a cup of coffee. But the tag team champions that they were going up against in this match were Triple X, which was Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper.
Primetime Elix Skipper.
Primetime Elix Skipper, who actually laid out AMW before the match itself properly started in the back. But yet somehow the competitors still managed to all get to the ring. By the way, Triple X was also accompanied by their third member, Low Key, who was briefly known in WWE as Kaval. Kaval got jobbed. Kaval got jobbed. Kaval got jobbed. And fun fact, only about half of the people in this match still in TNA. In fact, the only two people that I can think of that actually are still in TNA, as far as I know, as of the time of this recording, are Storm and Daniels. And Daniels, I'm not even certain about.
Even if you counted Daniels, I think it's more like 40% if you throw in Low Key.
Yeah. It was a really great tag team match. Unfortunately, typical chicanery, heel chicanery won the match. However, after that, America's Most Wanted was so incensed about this that they declared that they wanted another shot at the tag team titles on the following show, which is show number 50 if you're interested in looking up weekly pay-per-view number 50, which would be the first cage match in TNA.
It took them 49 episodes to make a cage match?
I guess so.
We're talking TNA, who was basically the NWA's Attitude Era. Took 49 episodes to make a cage match. Damn, Russo really was booking their shit.
Next,
they probably had so many. They probably had so many Mike Tenay on a pole matches that they couldn't even count.
No. Jeff Jarrett is involved. It's an acoustic guitar on a pole. Keep in mind,
Jerry Jarrett on a pole.
Keep in mind, though, this is the same company that came up with one of the weirdest match concepts, and coming up from someone who created a match that, I kid you not, was a battle royal that ended with a lumberjack last man standing match. in his e-wrestling days. I seriously created that. The King of the Mountain was the most fucked up thing anyone...
I never understood what the King of the Mountain match was, honestly.
And this is even comparing it to the aforementioned Hard 10 match, okay? The King of the Mountain ostensibly was supposed to be an inverse ladder match. Except that you could pin someone in the ring, which would send them into a penalty box for a couple of minutes, during which time you were allowed to climb a ladder and hang a title on a hook in order to win a match, as opposed to climb the ladder and, pull it off.
So it was a reverse ladder match with hockey rules.
Yeah, and there would always be, about 6 people involved with it. So maybe you'd have, one person in the box, but you'd still have 5 people out there. And of course those 5 people weren't going to let the person get up that ladder with the title.
Jeez.
So you basically had to incapacitate... You basically had to incapacitate 4 people, send a 5th one to the penalty box, and then set up the ladder and hang the title in order to win. And Jeff Jarrett managed to do this on at least 3 occasions that I can think of.
Amazing. They definitely booked weirdly there. So,
and again, this is coming from someone who created some really insane match types of his own in his e-wrestling days. Anyway, after this, we had a promo that was supposed to be, I guess, kind of the heartwarming promo interview from Mike Tenay with Jerry Jarrett, father of Jeff Jarrett, who was one of the owners of TNA at the time. Really, really optimistic in regards to their partnership with NWA, which is strange considering that, part of the reason why you don't hear of NWA that much anymore is because TNA told them to fuck off at one point.
Yeah.
And created
much like WCW did, by the way.
And much like ECW did.
Yeah.
Except without an epic promo to do so. I mean, say what you want about ECW doing that. At least they had Shane Douglas selling that shit to high hell.
Extreme!
Anyway, the next segment after that was... I don't even know what it was. It's Eric Watts, who earlier was talking to this one girl who apparently is the backstage interviewer and was trying to convince her not to interview this one guy called Kid Cash. And she's like, but interviewing people's my job. And I like doing my job.
It was about this point where I think I messaged you by saying, you know what this reminds me of? The Jerry Springer Show. I'm serious, man.
And the thing is, having not watched, the 48 episodes before this one, it seems like this comes out of nowhere because there's nothing is said between them to insinuate that there's a good reason why she might not want to interview the Kid Cash. And then Eric Watts comes out to the ring and calls Kid Cash out for an interview and bluntly lays into him for beating women. And at this point I'm like, wait, Kid Cash is a woman beater? Then how come you were acting like the douchebag earlier? Tell me Kid Cash is supposed to be the face in this. Because...
I have no idea what the crowd was looking at here, but this was about the point where it was like, this is definitely so much like the Jerry Springer Show. I might as well just watch that. At least I'm going to get to see a midget and a half man fight each other over a transsexual.
And apparently at some point, they did never show this on screen, apparently at some point, Kid Cash managed to get this woman who was supposed to be interviewing him and lock her up in an area with this unknown monstrous person who is just terrorizing her behind a fence that Eric Watt could not get to while Kid Cash was beating him down.
I'm pretty sure that was Abyss.
Pretty sure it was too, but even so, they didn't mention it by name. They didn't show his face, so he didn't have the iconic mask or anything.
Right. The problem is that he probably hasn't been totally debuted yet either. So,
but the thing, and Kid Cash is just so gleeful and nonchalant about the fact that he beats the women he's with. I'm like, isn't he supposed to be the heel? Is he a smug, woman-abusing heel? Because if so, I think we might have a contender for more disturbing than the allegedly comedic racism from earlier. Which, by the way, fun fact about that segment. Those precise three people, B.G. James, Ron Killings, and Conan, would later form a stable called the Three Live Crew.
Cool, I guess.
In fact, they were a thing when I actually started watching TNA proper. But, yeah, I don't know if this was, like, close to the beginning of that, or if this had already been a thing and they were just doing that to be silly.
There's so many three-man teams, you'd think they'd have a trios championship. Just saying.
Yeah, well, trios wrestling really is, at least in this country, about the only place you see trios wrestling on a regular basis anymore is Chikara.
Yeah. Well, Lucha Underground.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is the main event. And earlier, I should mention, part of the reason why Vince Russo and AJ Styles were out cutting a promo is because apparently Jeff Jarrett and Sting wanted a piece of AJ Styles, and AJ Styles didn't have a tag team partner for this. Well, Vince Russo was there to say, I've got the perfect guy. I am going to pick the perfect guy for you. Trust in me, AJ, and I'm going to pick the perfect guy. And the guy that he got was Sean Waltman. After all the teases earlier, about Shane Douglas coming in and Shane Douglas beating people up, you would have thought it would have been Shane Douglas, but no. Sean Waltman. And to make matters worse, this was explicitly said by Tenay and West on the announce table. Apparently before this, Sean Waltman had basically told Vince Russo to fuck off. And yet here he comes, doing the too sweet with Russo, and on being buddy with Russo.
This show just drained me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be a Vince Russo show if we didn't have a completely pointless, shocking swerve. And there you go.
Yeah.
By the way, Vince Russo decided to join in on commentary, so additional fun.
Oh, boy.
There was a ref bump in this particular match that led to Vince Russo going into the ring and clubbing Jeff Jarrett with a bat. Ultimately, Jeff Jarrett and Sting did get the win, though. I forget if it was by DQ or by... No. It was... I think Sting managed to get the win. Either that or Jeff Jarrett did. I forget who it was. See, this is how forgettable this show is. But it doesn't matter anyway, because out come Raven and Shane Douglas.
Yeah, it was a big fight towards the end, and that's all I remember from it.
Yeah, one big brawling clusterfuck.
Pretty much. That was your show, ladies and gentlemen. This drained me. Final ratings?
My final rating, I'm going to give it a final rating in the vein of SF Debris in relation to what the typical TNA show. And by the way, that's me getting ready to throw away my notes because I don't want to see this show in any way ever again. In the vein of SF Debris, I'm going to give the rating for this show on par to what TNA would be capable of in any era. So, I'm going to give it... It wasn't... It was terrible, but it wasn't the worst. I'm going to give it a generous 2 stars. Or two unicursal hexagrams.
Okay, I was going to say, you weren't even giving it hexagrams. I'd be like, holy fuck.
You know what? This doesn't deserve my fun bit. This doesn't deserve my bit. I'm not even going stars. Just like 2 dots. 2 one-dimensional polka dots. Not even colorful polka dots. Just plain black ink polka dots.
Maybe you should make that 3 polka dots because then it'd be like, dot, dot, dot.
No, it doesn't even deserve a full ellipsis. Just 2 dots.
Oh, man. Oh, I gotta give this one 1 1/4 for the matches. For the promos, fuck you. I wish we had a Vince Russo on a pole match. I wish we had a lot of pole matches that involved Vince Russo getting the crap beat out of him. Actually, I honestly think that they did this show wrong. Be perfectly honest with you. During that Hard 10 match, Vince Russo should have been there facing New Jack. That would have been at least interesting, watching him get the crap beat out of him.
Alright, I am now taking a picture for Instagram of my die that I am going to use for the July roll-off for the Wrestle Roll Rewind.
Yeah.
And as I did last time, I am going to take video of me actually rolling.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe this time we will actually be able to. Who knows? Maybe this time we will actually be able to get out of the 2000s for once. Come on, Rockin' Wrestling Era. Well, I can tell you this: we're definitely getting out of the 2000s because I rolled a 15.
Wow. Well, I rolled a 7, so it looks like our next one is going to be from 1993.
Oh yeah, going back to the new generation era.
Well, we got one problem with that.
What's that?
If we're going to go to 1993 for July, there wasn't a pay-per-view then. We would be stuck with likely moving back to June, which was the first King of the Ring pay-per-view.
Or we could do... Raw was going then, right?
Raw was, yeah.
Well then, why don't we find a good episode of Raw?
Or a good episode of... No, Nitro was 95. I'm sorry. Alright. I guess that works.
Alright then. So, in July, it looks like we're going to get Raw.
Must be a lot of Bret Hart there and some... Maybe a little bit of Quebecers. I don't know.
Alright.
Yokozuna. A lot of Yokozuna.
Indeed.
I actually kind of like that era. That was the era that got me into wrestling.
But on our next segment, though, it's time to get into some video game news, I think.
Hey everyone, this is David. Like what you hear? Check us out on the internet at casualmodepodcast.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/casualmodepodcast, any one of our social media links, and of course, click on the little subscribe button below. Thanks!